No, it's not. It's connected to TV.
So it's recording now. Volume's low. Okay. Do you need to do the captions and things like that? Well, I'm sorry that we can't have video recorded, but at least the audio will be recorded at the meeting. So I'd like to call the meeting to order and start with the pledge of allegiance. I'm sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. These Rotary Thursdays, I get to say the pledge twice. It's very exciting. Okay, the first order of business is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Did anybody have any questions about the minutes? Any concerns? Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, privilege of the floor. We don't have anybody online, right? No. Would anybody in the room like to speak on during privilege of the floor? Okay, so we'll go right on to Michelle then.
Okay, I have a PowerPoint
Awesome sauce.
and I have the. Do you want
Well, do you want me to hand it?
please? So Adeline asked me to come to a finance meeting to explain exemption. What happens? The town establishes a budget and the rate is established by the amount of parcels and how they're, so all that budget is divided, it's like a big pie, divided among all the residents. Some parcels have exemptions. So that exemption is removed from that amount, the exemption amount, dollar amount, then, oh, I thought you were raising your hand or something. It must be distributed to the rest.
In here, Michelle.
Oh,
We just
no?
let 'em talk.
So the rest of whatever the exemptions are, need to be distributed equally through everybody else, because everybody needs to be. The budget needs to be covered no matter who it is.
You have visual aids?
I have a little activity.
Tactile and visual aids? I don't think I've ever had an activity in our town board meeting
I thought they were
before.
jealous.
This is very-
No, I'll bring those next time.
That was the ordinance committee meeting where we talked about what else.
So in everybody's cup,
Don't eat these.
there's 10 beans. There's 10 named
Okay,
beans.
cool.
I am gonna, this is what each parcel would be, that's your tax burden. I'm gonna go around and have everybody pick their exemption amount. So fun.
Uh-oh.
I hope I get veterans and senior star.
It's only a percentage, it's either 100%, 0, or 50, to make it a little
What'd you
easier.
get?
0.
Oh,
Scam.
nothing good for you.
It's a scam.
It's a-
0.
I'll take mine.
What'd you
I'll
get?
take mine too.
You get 100?
Alright, you're the winner, chicken dinner.
I'm out.
I got-
Hey, Terry.
Ooh, I got a good one too.
Okay, so everybody, who got 100% discount?
I got
Okay,
100.
pour your beans in here because you don't owe any tax.
Yeah,
Sweet, Terry, lucky you.
but don't forget next.
Did anybody get 50?
I did.
Yes,
I have-
yes.
Okay, give me half your beans.
Now you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. It's all gonna amount to a hill of beans.
So everybody else is at 0?
No.
Yeah.
John got some.
You have
Yeah.
50?
You got John. 50.
There we go.
Okay, so you're 50% and 100%. You're all done. That's
So
what you're
wait.
gonna pay your taxes on.
This means that Jared is the only one on the town board paying his full taxes.
So the rest of these, I'm
Fair.
gonna distribute
Fair.
to everybody else.
Pay my fair share.
I'm just picking on you.
Heather got 0 as well.
Yeah.
You got 50.
Justin's
And
assessments are going up.
I know this is not the best demonstration.
Yeah.
But Terry and
Just Terry.
Just Terry with
that's
0.
0.
Well, it's fair. I'm the oldest guy in the room. You know.
Oh, you're 0.
He's-
Don't you
she's
get,
0.
So
uh,
whoever got 100%
Just Terry.
isn't paying,
A hill of
and
beans.
all that, the rest was
Pay a little bit
distributed
more,
amongst everybody else.
That's fair.
So that's how, I know this is a simple little activity.
Yeah,
but that's how it works.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How many beans you got over there? Mrs. Supervisor? I like my 6 beans over
So,
here. It's nice.
that was something simple that I wanted to. That's like something I would take to a senior meeting or something, just so you know.
So
Now
what are you
Terry,
saying?
When you say that.
What are you saying? Take it to a senior
You know what I
meeting.
mean when she's talking about seniors?
no, like I'm gonna go to one of the Thursday card meetings or whatever and do that. But that kind of makes the visual, you know, what's happening
Right.
physically.
Because the same amount has to come
Yes.
in from fewer people. Yeah.
Yeah, the money, the budget is a big pie and it has to be paid no matter what. So. Increase in the number and value of partial property tax exemption shifts the proportionate tax load from one group of individuals to another. The distribution of the tax base is no longer solely based on property value. For example, if more seniors qualify for tax breaks, the remainder of the tax base must shoulder the load. As the same total amount must be collected to balance the budget. Qualifying seniors then pay a smaller share individually. And I also did this example, if someone's assessment is 100,000, they have a 30,000 exemption. So they pay taxes on 70,000. Their tax rate will be applied to 70,000. The tax burden for the 30,000 exemption amount will be shifted to the rest of the taxpayers. Types of exemptions, aged, which we generally call senior, are agricultural, veterans, disability. The disability is only offered by the county and the school. And we are doing the upcoming vote on the volunteer firefighter and EMT exemption. Then there's STAR and enhanced STAR.
Are you gonna, never mind, you're gonna talk about Starlight.
If you have any questions, just type up and tell me to slow down.
Start is confusing to me, so I
yeah.
just wanted your notes on that.
So the aged and senior exemption, you need to complete the application. You have to be 65 years of age or older. With a photo ID, your household income is less than $28,899.99. Yearly renewal with income information. Agricultural, you need a completed application, own a minimum of 7 tillable acres that is farmed, a 5-year lease with a farmer if it's not self-farmed, and that has to be renewed equally or yearly. The veterans application, you need the completed application, your DD 214, photo ID, and then if applying for the veterans with disability, we need the disability rating letter.
What is the rate that the veterans receive if they're, for the taxes, what do they? what
It's
exemption do they
different.
get? It ranges,
When they serve,
and that's a statewide one, right?
yeah, well, it's the town and the county, they have different levels.
I meant the exemption comes, the state, just exemption in general is.
It's off a town,
from the
I'm not
state,
sure.
Not, we don't approve that as a town, that's something.
No,
that
we
comes
have
from
it.
the state. No, I know that we have it, but I mean, is it something that we have created as a town or? is it
Yes,
just the
It's
state
been
has
created.
Okay,
Like I have this whole list of the towns in the Ontario County
okay.
that have the vet exemption and how much the exemption is.
What's the veterans exemption in town of Canandaigua?
Well, it is 45,000, but if it's a disability, it's 90.
95.
45,000 income they have to have?
No.
No, the
off the tax.
45,000 comes off your
the tax,
assessment
Right.
okay.
and then you tax on the remainder.
And that's for anybody who's served and honorable discharge kind of thing?
Yep.
45 is if you've served honorary discharge. So
Correct.
90 would be.
90 is
associated with
disability.
Right.
I did, never did that, okay.
Does that apply to school tax as well? I guess it does, because it lowers your assessment, right?
Well, it does lower, well, no, just for your town.
That's,
Schools
oh,
would have to approve
Some
it.
schools do not. Allow
In
it.
the county, do you know if they do?
The county does, schools do not.
schools are greedy.
Well, that's what I don't understand about the STAR exemption, because they say you get the STAR exemption and then, it's not distributed through everybody else, but how's is getting paid, so.
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
Yep. And the star and enhanced star exemption, more and more people are switching over to the credit or check program. But I do have on here the exemption income, basic star income limit is 250,000. The enhanced star income limit is 98,700. The credit check program, which is run by the state, and any home bought after the 2016 or built after then, they have to apply for the credit check program. The basic star income limit is 500,000, which is more than the exemption. And the enhanced is the same income limit. But every year, the credit check program increases. Your check amount will increase. If you have the exemption, it stays the same. So I encourage people to change from the exemption to the check.
And do they do that through you or?
No, they do that through the state.
It's a website, right, that you go
Mhm.
on? I think.
Yep, the New York State Real Property website.
Right.
Then the volunteer firefighter EMT exemption, need a completed application, proof of volunteer service. And they give me their application and whatever proof they have of volunteer service, and I also double check that with John Yanati at the Ontario County Director of Emergency Management, because all the fire departments have to send him their rosters, and he's the one, the point of contact. Because the county adopted it before we did, so that was the
And we're adopting.
Correct,
the
July
public hearing.
22nd.
Well, I think that's the public hearing.
July
So,
22nd,
Right,
yeah.
so will we provide applications at that point? in
Yeah,
time?
we, I do have it on there online. I'm gonna actually put it in in August, the newsletter.
Yeah,
And then I'll have a link to the application and we'll have paper.
and we'll just
applications.
maybe fire it out to Cheshire, so that they're aware of it, so.
Yeah,
they-
they've already asked to meet to go
Yeah.
over it,
Mhm.
just so they.
And
see
I
it
did,
first.
for the July 22nd town board meeting, there was a volunteer firefighter folder. So I put in there, what all the other towns do. One of these big long sheets is in there as an attachment of the application. And the county law is also in there. So you can look and see what theirs says. It's on the attachment for the.
So we're getting that.
Yeah. Exemption filing deadlines, with very few exceptions, the deadline to file an application with the assessor for a partial exemption is March 1st. Remember that partial exemptions, with the exception of star, shift the tax burden. You're required to provide documentation as proof to the assessor that you meet the qualifications.
So what does Star do if it's not doing the same thing?
That's my same question I just mentioned earlier, that
Hmm.
it has to be like that, because they're just like the town is, they have a budget they have to cover, so I'm gonna question that, I got this from the state, so
Yay.
I'll question that and I can get back to you with that. This is just things about the star exemption, new legislation caps income for basic star eligibility at 500,000. Star is the only available on the primary residence. A husband and wife can only have one star unless legally separated.
How much does Star take off?
Well, it depends. If you have the exemption,
Yeah.
it changes every year. Actually, I have it posted. I don't know the
Is it a
exact amount.
percentage usually?
No, it's a set amount.
Okay,
Actually, I have it posted up on the
okay.
bulletin board upstairs. I don't know the amount.
Okay.
For basic star, I think it's like 31,000.
Off of the assessment.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think the enhanced is 84,900 or something like that. Some properties are exempt from property taxes based on ownership and property use. For example, a church used exclusively for religious purposes or government property held for public use. However, if a religious organization buys a property after taxable status date, the property remains taxable until the following year. And again, taxable status date is March 1st. So if, for example, you have a house and taxable status date comes March 1st, March 5th, we have a torrential hurricane or a tornado and your house is gone, your assessment's not go down.
I thought we only got torrential storms in July
In July.
9th or
Sometimes
10th.
It says government property held for public use. That wouldn't apply to the city's water treatment plant.
No,
I mean, that's public use. I mean, purifying water and all, but is it just property or is it? I mean, that applies like parks. I would imagine.
parks,
I would think, yeah.
all town owned property, county owned property, yeah. So on the next page, I have the exemption impact, which is for the senior exemption, there is $4,884,962.
This is just in the town of Canandaigua.
Correct. The ag exemption, 33,905,810. Veteran exemptions, 18,701,462. And then the total exemption impact at the bottom, which includes all wholly exempt properties, schools, churches, governmental and parcels, fire departments, clergy, cemeteries. The whole exemption impact is 253,359,444. So that, all that has to be absorbed by the rest of the.
That's including the senior agriculture and veteran in that number as well. Okay.
And that's all I have. Phone number on there. Anything, if you want to know anything more, just shoot me an email.
That 253 would come off our gross assessment of.
Right.
What, 2
Yes.
billion or whatever it is right now.
Yeah.
So I did want to just bring up one thing. I know we have some very memorable town members bring up the senior assessment, and you had recommended that it's remained. Did you adjust that number this
I
year
did
for
not
that?
adjust it.
Okay, and I just wanted to hear your reasoning for that and why you decided that was the correct course of action.
Well,
'Cause
I
you
did
can adjust some of
the
these.
income level.
Yes. the
Yes,
income
can be
levels, so-
adjusted.
so.
I do have what the city of Canandaigua did. I thought I had it.
So how high could you go on household income for seniors?
I knew I probably should have put this up there, but
Sorry.
this is what the city of Canandaigua did. They just changed their senior exemption. Income amount, and their top amount is 38,900. That gives a 5% discount. Anything less or equal to 30,500 would be a 50% discount. So I don't know if you wanna, I can copy this and email it to you. if you
Sure,
want.
yeah.
This is a local law that town of Canandaigua, or
City.
city of Canandaigua
Canandaigua.
did January of this year.
Okay, and you like it where it is, why? I just wanted an opportunity for you to.
I don't care if it changes, it's really not up to me. I just would like to, but because they also include IRAs in that income.
Okay,
That's what I would like to copycat this if
Include it in
possible. Because the main,
How would you include an IRA in income?
it's income.
But it's not
from-
income,
Distribution.
but it's not income if it's in until you
Right,
withdraw.
no, they.
But,
they
Based
drop
on
the
the withdrawal.
distributions
Withdraw,
from it,
yeah,
so
then it should be income, right?
Right,
Yeah.
but right now it's not.
It's
Probably
not.
should,
used.
yeah, yeah.
Because the main reason for when they made the senior discount was for aging people
on Social
who were
Security.
on social security, a fixed income, and they wanted to stay in their house. You know, that was the main reason. It wasn't for people that are getting $100,000 a year
Right.
on their IRA to get it. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
those two people are way different in income.
It would be a significant switch if we had the IRA and even with increasing it though, because there are some people who really designed how they retired around
Right.
that.
So, and other people rely on that to, like I said, stay in their home because
Mhm.
we have some that get the senior discount are the senior exemption and they get a veterans exemption. So they really don't pay any taxes in the real world.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They have so many exemptions that they don't pay any taxes. So that's why I put the zero amount in some of these, because that's the reality for some people.
Mhm.
But the impact for seniors is only 5 million, you know what I mean? It's not.
I
it's
agree.
Significant,
I
but
agree.
not.
Yeah, so
I don't think it's something that
2%.
we've ever really talked about much as a town board, and it's kind of a complicated subject area, and when I was first approached about it, I didn't know how to answer any questions about it, that's why I wanted to have Michelle
Mhm.
come in, so, to see if there was any interest in changing anything that we're doing right now, if we like where it is right now, and just, I mean, it's probably something we all have to think about and look about and research a little bit more.
What I will do though, I'll email everybody the town or the city of Canandaigua's law that they adopted. So you
Do
can
you
look
like
at
that?
it.
You like that law?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I do. Yeah.
Seems like in other areas of your financial life, most places just take into account your gross taxable income.
Mhm.
Which also 401ks would do.
Mhm.
Correct.
There are definitely some community members that do not want that, so.
I'm sure.
So, some of them are.
Well, it would change the impact, you know,
it
it
shifts
would
the burden.
include more
Mhm.
people. It would include that senior impact would get larger.
Any idea what the difference in average assessed value in the city is versus the town?
I
Is there
don't.
any-
I don't, but I do see sales. The sales are just crazy. I'm actually included them in the last couple of town board
Mhm.
as attachments. No one is buying at assessed value. They're all buying
Yeah. way
over
above.
assessed value.
Yeah.
I would guess lower though, Terry.
Much lower, 'cause they don't have
Well,
the
the city parcels,
I would think so.
but they're
Well, over 50% of the housing in the city is rental, so.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, those
So it's-
incomes are probably
right.
lower than, you know, so.
Right.
About 5 years ago, I had the data run and I want to say the average price in that town was like 296 to 306. This was pre-COVID housing
Yeah.
explosion. If you took away the RLD, that dropped it down to like 190 something, or
Right.
closer to 200. And I imagine the city is in that 110,
Without the,
115.
without,
range.
they have such minimal lake frontage in the city that
Yeah.
really, that completely transforms what our
Mhm.
taxes look like, so.
And their Howell Street homes don't hold the same value.
They don't,
anymore.
actually, I was just looking at some this summer, they're a lot of really nice houses that are, 4,000 square feet on Howell Street are selling for the same price as the brand new builds up in like Daysane Drive and
Yeah,
get and
They
Crib
don't
Street.
don't hold the same.
Yeah.
the same value.
Anyway, anybody have any further questions or concerns or anything we want to pursue on this? I just wanted to bring it up, and it's something that we would change, if we did anything with the exemptions, it would be in March, so.
well, we'd have to adopt it.
Well, before
that.
March, yeah, so it'd be something we need to know by the end of the year if we wanted to do that and discuss it any further, but I just wanted to make sure folks were aware of it.
You'd really have to look at how that shifts the burden and where it shifted to,
Exactly.
you know, so.
But we could look at the city, right?
I'm
Look
hanging
at
on
what
to
they
this
were
till
prior
next
to
Correct,
enacting
yeah.
that law,
Mhm.
and what afterwards, just to get a rough idea.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
probably the
then
same
don't forget, we're
age
also
range.
adding the volunteer firefighters
Right.
exemption as well.
And-
And there is that exemption. It's like you can get on your property tax or your income tax. You can't double dip.
Yeah.
So I guess it's up to the individual as to which would give them a better outcome.
It might make sense to see how Geneva is doing those exemptions too, the town of Geneva, since they have the lakefront as well as a little more comparable physically to us, or maybe Skaneateles area. Just to see if there's, we're such a weird, as you know, such a weird town with assessing. I mean, we have, the last thing I would want anything to do is to cause someone struggling and living, in a $190,000 house to not
Now
be able
not
to
be able to
retain that
afford it, right,
house,
yeah.
you know, because they've structured their income in such a way that it's coming out of IRA distributions or something, so that would be a terrible consequence, so that's,
I think Gorham would be as well.
yeah,
Because
yeah, Gorham as well,
Gorham
yeah.
has the farms, they have the lakefront, they have they've got a lot of what we have.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
any other questions in general for our assessors who are here at our finance meeting?
Thanks for putting this together.
Thank you.
This is very
Yeah, no
nice,
problem.
Thank you so
That's
much.
good.
Sorry for my shaky voice, but.
Oh, you're fine. We,
You want your-
no,
Do
you
you
can
want
keep
your-
this for the next
Yeah.
one. Yes,
Go on.
everybody.
You want your-
Tree leaves with her hill beans.
We're gonna mail
Hold on
that
to
in.
that.
Thank you for the visual aid.
Yeah,
It's-
thank you.
It's a rare that we have an interactive
Now we're
time.
gonna have to up our game at our
Feeling
next town board meeting.
It's like I saw your little bowl. I'm like, this is exciting. So
Everybody's gonna get
exciting.
a donut.
Thanks,
We're gonna talk about
Yes.
donuts and the donut hole,
The donut hole's going away.
and nobody can.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks. Thank
Take
you.
care. Okay, so that moves us into the financial reports. I did go through, I had, you know, it's always your favorite thing, Jess, when I ask random questions in the meetings. So, I have one right on the top there, actually. So, I don't know if this is the second line there, the special assessment pilot. I don't know if I just missed something. Why is it at 241%? You know what that is? The revenue, like, do we get something revenue? You don't have to know?
That means that we collected more than
Yeah.
budgeted.
Exactly.
Because we have,
There's actually a pass-through that's in process right now.
Okay.
But also-
We collect, funds from two separate entities that then we redistribute to
Okay, so it's
the
in
county
progress.
and the
Okay.
school.
but
Yeah.
we also had within that, because it's more than actually budgeted. There was a glitch with taxes. There's the Hamlin Airport hangar.
Oh, that's that one.
There's the hangar at the airport
Yeah,
that
yeah,
went from
Mhm.
minimal to 20-some thousand.
Okay,
That's gonna go away, but if that was taxed
it would have been in there.
and came in,
Got
then it would show up in there, so that's another reason why that's off. We're not gonna end up keeping it, but
Okay.
no, it was just a glitch.
And then the last line in the revenue? What is that for? I think it's cut off. And it says appropriation fund balance for,
For budget.
okay. So that's like a total of,
So whenever we do, whenever we appropriate unassigned fund balance.
okay,
To a budget line,
it shows up on
this
that line.
entry shows up.
Okay, cool. All right, next one I had was on the next page, about a third of the way down, the attorney contractual. That's running a little low. Do we need to think about adjusting that again?
Hey, Jim,
It's, where is it? It's 1420. So I don't know if we need to, are we anticipating needing to adjust that again? Because they should be running around 50% right now, right?
32%.
It's at 32, so. I mean, it's obviously not an urgent thing, but it's
I
running,
think we
a little low.
watch it through the fall. We had quite a bit going on earlier,
okay,
so watch it through the fall to see if that levels out, because if we remember, that was seriously underfunded in the last.
Mhm,
budget.
it was, yeah. So I just wanted to draw attention to that, that's still running low. The dog control contractual is also running low. Is that a one-time expense?
It
or-
is,
It is,
yeah.
okay. So we don't have to worry about that one. Next page, the whole little planning section here, like 80-20 in there. Should we give a heads up to like the open space and other, we've got a whole bunch of planning ones that haven't spent any of their budget. They're at 100%, so.
Actually, I think the open space team, there's going to be a resolution, I believe, on this month's agenda there
They're doing
to be
something.
considered, updating mapping or something. so.
Okay, okay. And then what's planning uptown? Anybody know what that is? That had $1,000 in it?
I'm guessing it was just expenses related to the bid, I would think, but then it's not in the bid. so
It's
I'm
not
not
in the
sure.
bid, that's why I was like, why is it hanging out here? And the historical project team, do they know they've got, $200 to spend?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's what I have on that. Hang on, then my next one, all the way on page 5. Under the highway expenses. Hi, Jim.
Just in time.
Good to see you. I think it's the 5th one down, DA 15112. We've got the permanent highway improvements, it's got 19%. That's a little lower than I would anticipate. I was just wondering,
That's your CHIPS funding,
that's chips, okay,
okay,
And it's for
so
capital projects.
that's a cap, and
okay,
once the checks clear.
Okay.
Next submission will be soon, we probably won't see till September,
okay,
but yeah, that's why
Perfect.
that one's low on purpose.
perfect, makes sense. I'm just noting the ones that are low and making sure it makes sense. We're not gonna be like, you get to do half a
No.
road and you're stuck there.
Because you'll see it on the revenue side.
Yeah,
If you were to look at that, it's not been put
anticipatory.
in yet.
That might be all I had, actually. Yeah. Yep, that's all I had. And did anybody else have any questions on the budget report or the fund balance report? Nobody? All right. Cool. Jim, since you're here, was there anything you wanted to say in the committee at all, or just kind of enjoying your time?
I know there's some, the Public Works Committee, which I emailed some information to for proposals. One was there's outhouse west, the drainage that we've been talking with FEMA about.
Yep.
We've gotten to a point where I'm hoping to bring to the after Public Works meets, discuss it to the board to approve the resolution to hire MRB to design out what needs to be done out there.
Is this used with Kevin Albany, or this is just for general drainage for the park?
Well, it's a little bit
Both?
of Albany, the town and FEMA
Okay.
to try and come up with the funding to do the work and county soil.
Is that something we could charge back to FEMA later? Or no?
No, but they'll provide money for the mitigation.
Okay,
So Jim, when you do that, I mean, is the concept of what Outhouse West is gonna be someday incorporated in that, or just getting rid of this water?
No, we're working, we're also working, I should say, with CMB, which owns the land of the outhouse estate. Allowing us to install preventative measures
Off our
upland
Right, yeah.
of it to prevent future flooding. I'll say disasters.
Right.
Not only
So
on
nothing
our
really on
property.
the property we own, which we are probably gonna do something
Correct.
different.
Well, a little bit on
Yeah.
our property,
not
Dave.
mostly it impacts that.
Yeah,
So where we want to put the ball fields.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
an
that-
area to the west
right,
Mhm.
that we like to put an outflow.
some kind of
structure
mitigation.
there, and then we also want to do mitigation in the field
Yeah.
above it.
Up the hill.
So there's several organizations that want to assist. And this, in order to assist, we have to have a plan to give to
Right,
FEMA that says,
absolutely, right, yeah.
here's what we're gonna do, and they'll take that as the mitigation part of it, and long story short, we had to split it up because FEMA wouldn't let us do as one project, so it's kind of made it more difficult
Yeah,
than it should be, but that's,
par for the
Is-
case with FEMA.
Is this something, do we still have that funding from the city, the Sucker Brook DEC city, whatever that was?
there is a
Can that, some
capital
of that
line
be
for that.
used
Yeah.
towards that as well?
We could have that conversation. I
That would
mean,
have to be a joint decision. I mean, we've got 245
It probably makes sense though, because that's
million,
Sucker
it's
Brook, right?
245,000, something in there.
Correct,
We've
I
got
think,
Between 2 and 250,
I think the city would be fine with anything we do above them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's kind of,
Mhm.
isn't, that's eventually dumping into Sucker Brook
Correct.
through the park, right? Yeah,
Correct.
so that's.
This lines up with what Kevin had presented last, when it was a month or two after the flood last July,
Right.
Mhm.
showing where and the placement of,
Yep, yep.
Correct.
this would give us the actual print to follow.
Correct.
So what are you looking for from us again? Engineering dollars? for
Yeah,
that?
it's just under 14,000.
Is that something that could come from that Sucker Brook?
Well, we could look at it for that watershed, how much is,
I don't think watershed's gonna necessarily,
okay.
I wouldn't say they're gonna pay for engineering, but I would say, I'm gonna say they're gonna help with other,
I mean, and I would say since I would take it back and we can have that discussion about using that Sucker Brook.
Is that is that a
Money.
DEC or a, I'm
Sucker
not sure,
Brook?
the Sucker Brook one, I
No,
don't
it's
even know
just a
what that
pot
was.
that we created
Okay, it was. a-
to do mitigation along the
It's a
Sucker Brook
joint between
corridor.
the city and the town. Okay.
Yeah, this is also why we had to extend the lease for the strikers. At a couple meetings ago, we extended their lease for
Yeah,
another
yeah, yeah, 10 years.
10 years. Because they're committing, he is getting funding to change some of his farming practices. And it all has to roll in together and they need to know he's got it long enough. So the
Yeah.
lease extension was the first step. He's applying for his part as the next step. So it's really that joint effort between all of them,
Okay.
between all these entities, but we can look in, I'll ask Kevin about. You kept pushing that through Sucker Brook?
Oh, yeah, well, that's something we wanna
Yeah.
pursue for sure, that, and I just don't wanna speak out term for the lake shed and what they're providing as far as,
Exactly,
so.
because I couldn't remember.
Yeah. That's why I was like,
Because I know sometimes we're able to contribute, able to pull up grant money or other things.
But at the end of the day, you need 14,000. We should really commit to some way, shape, form or manner
Yes.
to get that done.
Right.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
setting it.
You're gonna need the plan.
Right, exactly.
Correct.
So however it gets paid for,
I'm doing that right
I
now.
think Jared has,
Yeah.
or Allied said like, we could use the Sucker Brook money
Right.
for that we have
Right.
set aside for that project.
That's what it is. so.
that's what it's for, yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't there like 300,000 hanging out in there? I think something.
It's about 240.
Okay. yeah.
Not exactly sure.
More than 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. Okay, I think that's a good use of that one. Anyone, anything else?
So it's kind of like we're putting the cart before the horse here. I have another discussion in Public Works
Mhm.
for MS4. So for years, the state has been updating the municipal storm sewer separation system. This is the year they want us to start doing that. There's a lot of work involved to get us up to where they want us to be in 25 and beyond. And we don't necessarily have enough staff to get this done, or the time to get it done with not only myself, but with Murph for what they want in the next 6 months. So there is a proposal that we're going to discuss at Planning and Public Works to discuss what it's going to cost to get us up to what the DEC wants us to be at going forward.
That's fun.
So, well, we don't have a choice. That's what I'm telling,
I know.
we just don't have a choice. Like, they're gonna, here's what you have to do, and,
Here's your unfunded mandate. Got it.
and we're not the only
Exactly.
town, we're not the only municipality.
Oh, no.
There's
I
lots
got
of us in this boat,
But-
so.
For everybody's benefit too, Murph has been talking with the city.
Mhm.
He's also been talking with Farmington about potentially sharing someone to do this, the work and the inspections and the other things down the road.
Yep.
As well. So we might not, I mean, the thought is, if we're all sharing it, we have similar stormwater structures. And it wouldn't be enough for one person in the town to be in charge to do all that, but if you had somebody doing multiple municipalities,
it. Stormwater.
then we could share the cost for it.
So are you talking about hiring an additional person or
No,
about
we're
using MRB? or-
MRB to get us
yeah.
up to speed.
This would be down the road that we might bring in somebody else, but this is.
This would be one shot,
This
just
is
to
something
get it,
different, to get us to the.
get all
To get
the,
us to level.
Right. So,
Got it.
okay, and then, we encumbered a snowplow truck again this year. We won't, I know we can't encumber it 2 years in a row, so for our notes, we'll have to, that'll probably go back to fund balance and highway. But when the truck comes, we'll have to
come back
then
out.
do a budget amendment to put that money back into the budget to purchase the truck. Now, Jess and I don't see the truck come until
This is all just because the truck's not coming in.
right.
Okay.
I
just
would
confirm.
say hopefully the end of the first quarter of 25, if we're lucky.
April's a great time to get a snow plow.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
It may be, I'm just letting you know
I
a
know,
little
I
bit that, and we also have another truck on order, but again, that one's not gonna start till be built till sometime in 25.
Great, yeah.
Okay.
No, I know, we've got our little line up there.
But what I just want to talk about at
Just
budget
so
time,
delayed. Yeah. that it's
you're gonna
be
see that
funky.
amount of money in those
Yeah.
lines. And that's, it's not spent for these reasons.
Yeah.
Is what I'm letting everybody know about. Okay.
They see any light at the end of the tunnel in terms of delivery times? I
No.
mean, is it, I mean, this all started COVID epidemic and so-called and all that. Shortage of materials, but it's just, it's not gonna come, doesn't seem like it's gonna come back in to normal delivery times at all.
You been to
So-
a restaurant recently?
I don't see, heavy equipment's a bit better. Like a dozer excavator, but truck wise, no, there's been lately there's been a shortage of transmissions and a shortage of frame rails. So
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
there's not much that,
well, I mean, there is a mechanism. Finance, you know, and budgeting process to account for all that, but still, it's, you don't have them when you really want them to be here. If we looked at our strategic vehicle replacement.
not in a
policy,
while, but we
not-
have.
I mean, how, have we adjusted that to account for this at all? I don't-
No, we haven't,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I'm not sure how to
Plan
How
for
to
the
do that?
unknown.
adjust for, because like we anticipate doing certain things in certain years.
Yeah.
If we don't, then it takes it from this to like this,
Yeah.
again, you know, that's
Well,
the,
that was the whole idea.
That was the whole idea of
level
leveling
out. Yeah.
the only way, unless we just, again, keep encumbering, knowing that we've had the money there and it still stays flat.
Well, that's.
That's what we're gonna,
the only
that's what we
thing.
need to do.
Yeah.
And then the, just let you all know, finance wise, like, we're too short at the transfer station. We've had no applicants. I've had a position open for labor for over a month. We've had no applicants. We may have to advertise for $20 an hour,
What is it, 18 now?
16 bucks an hour. I mean, just
What are the other guys making who are there right now?
16.
So then there's the ripple effect for that.
Yeah, I mean, they're,
What are other towns paying?
for transfer station attendants, I don't know, and I'm not sure. I mean, 16 is minimum wage.
Yeah.
But right now, we're using guys. Basically paying overtime on the weekend to make sure we have people there to operate the transfer.
So
So
station.
16's going to
45,
24?
45,
I can't say 24, but I can say 20.
Yeah,
which is
Did you look
cheaper than
and see
45
what
and 50 an hour. for
Ontario
overtime.
County
It
is
is,
paying for
right.
that?
You know, but
Thanks.
what I'm telling the board is, it's like, somehow we gotta make it more attractive pay wise, is what I think, because $16 an hour. No, nobody's really interested, even kids in high school are like,
Yeah.
you know,
well, that's a sad statement, but I hear what you're saying. But if we advertise for new positions for 20, how do we keep people working at 16?
we'd have to.
Right, we're not. Right,
We're
we're-
gonna
yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean, what's the
Okay.
overall impact of that? How many
Even working for 16 is someone else.
Well,
I
if
think-
we paid them what they're worth, there's one guy out there that,
Yeah, I know.
you get him for what, $4 an hour? maybe?
Yeah, I know, but I don't have nobody now. I can't keep going back.
He's a live body.
I can't keep going back.
Really? Live?
Well, moves every once in a while.
I mean,
I mean, let's face it, you're not gonna get like the real go-getters that are starting in that spot usually. That's
Well,
where
you
they're
know, a lot
starting
of-
off. And
you've had-
hopefully become a go-getter.
You've
but-
had
we've
kids
had a
there
bunch.
working that were really hustlers
Oh,
and
yeah,
very,
we
very
have.
good,
We
you
have-
know,
we
but.
have.
Can can we advertise it? I know that in the advertisement, it did show it's a good learning. You know, it's a
To
good
step up,
opportunity
step
to
in,
be,
yeah.
to step into a full-time position.
Mhm.
Could we advertise that more?
we
And
can.
push that more and
um,
be like, hey, listen, this is almost, almost like a training ground. It's your foot in the
okay,
door.
So like,
You'd have for like Brecken and Austin, you know, all
Mhm.
those other guys who've done that.
Are we getting any feedback about the hours being tough?
no,
Okay,
it's just, $16 an hour doesn't interest
16 bucks, yeah.
people, when you tell them you're gonna throw
Oh, I
trash
know.
and pick stuff, they're like,
My daughter's making 15
Nah.
bucks an hour as a barista, so plus tips, so she's probably about 25.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know,
So is there
it's
any
just-
opportunity to look at the court system and say, hey, instead of this fine, or is that just asking for trouble?
I never looked into that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna get the
Community
best and the
service
brightest,
kind of thing.
obviously, but
Community service.
We
yeah,
used to do community service here,
Yeah,
actually quite a bit of it. I don't know why it changed, because it's been a while since we've done it.
yeah.
And then I do remember some that showed up you didn't really want here.
Yeah, no, that's a different problem.
I do remember that
That's a different
problem.
right,
well, with
right.
that problem, plus getting them to show up.
Get them to show
Right.
us the
And
other
when they were
problem.
here, they just stood around. They
Right.
Yeah,
weren't,
they really
a
weren't.
lot of, not all of them,
Yeah.
but half of
Yeah.
them probably weren't. They just stand there and watch, looking at their watch, you
Yeah,
know,
they really weren't.
waiting for noon, you know, get out of
Get out
here.
of here, so.
Terry, you spent a lot of time over there.
Well,
Were you there for community service?
We don't talk about that. Those records are sealed.
That's fair.
That's right.
it's just, it's disheartening that we
Yeah.
can't find
Yeah,
staff to work, and most of the time they're at 16 an hour, they don't want to throw trash.
well, it's not the most glamorous.
It's not.
job at
I
all.
try to explain them, there's opportunities, but they're not.
Well, they can learn about recycling, they can learn about
Community
human nature.
service.
They can learn about
Customer
those crotchety old
service.
ladies that show up and start screaming
It's
at them.
customer
That's
service.
what they-
How many hours a week is it?
16. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 2 weeks, it's 8.
8 a week.
It's
8 hours a
4,
week
or,
for
12 hours a
12
week.
hours a week,
You have
sorry.
3 people there now? And
I have Todd and 2 others right now.
so you have 2 people at that $16 an hour, so, and you'd like
Yes.
to have 3,
You have to have
I'd
4,
like to have 4, okay.
because,
If you could maybe run and see what other towns are at, so we just make sure.
I
we're not
emailed the
completely out of
county,
whack.
they have the master salary list.
Okay, and then, so we can see what that's at, and then what the impact would be of changing to different numbers for.
Does Victor have, their, transfer stations open every day,
yeah, almost.
and they have somebody permanently? I mean, it's really just one person, it's totally different than ours, I mean,
Yep.
it's one car at a time going through, so it's a lot easier to manage, but. That's a full-time job though
Yeah.
for someone.
One full-time job
Yeah.
with like Todd, and then they have 3 or 4 part-time people that work
Yeah.
there.
They do that too.
So that, I mean, it's just a different layout and all that.
Oh, it is, it's,
Much easier to manage the traffic and but they're
Correct.
open every day, just
Mhm.
virtually every day. Whereas we just have those condensed hours. We had this discussion a few weeks
we
ago.
did.
We've probably spent weeks worth of time discussing it over the years. We could spend $5 million bucks and
Catch-22.
fix it.
Mhm.
Or we could do what you suggest all the time.
There's
Shut it
that
down,
too,
you're on your
but
own.
like, I really think someday that, and I don't, when I say county, I mean, say Jerry, just in general. You know, the county needs to figure out what they're gonna do, so we all can figure out what we're gonna do,
Agree.
Yeah.
so.
Well, as soon as I can, I'll be sharing some information with you.
Yeah.
About what's going on. I honestly don't think it's gonna be as my take is, and again, this has totally changed in the last 6 months. It's not gonna be as drastic as we think it is,
Mhm.
because people are saying the cost of closing it
Mhm.
versus keeping it open.
Keep it open.
Revenue-wise, or,
With the current model,
yeah,
With that model or a modified model.
Mhm.
Even keeping it open. If we keep it open. Don't change anything year over year, it's like a 3 to 5% increase in tip fees and what we would pay. If we keep it open and only take on Ontario County, it's about a 60% increase in our costs.
50.
60%.
Does that include all the surveillance stuff they have to do? Because that's incredible amount of
Yeah,
stuff.
that includes
Casellas
everything.
do, right?
That's the cost, that's what they're figuring out. If we keep it open, full Ontario County and drop the external stuff to 50%, it's about a 40% increase
Wow.
in prices. And if we go to various landfills around, you're looking at anywhere from an 80 to 120% to 130% increase in your costs.
So it's-
Plus, we don't have the trucks to get there, right?
We don't have the trucks to get there. We don't
Sacramento
have
or wherever,
we don't have
yeah.
control of it. They'll shut down. So we're really, and I'll have more as soon as I can, as soon as I have permission to share it out there, because it's all in draft form.
Mhm.
But they're gonna have to be significant discussions. That doesn't take into account the millions of dollars that everybody gets from the landfill.
Right.
That the county gets.
Yeah.
The town of Geneva, town of Seneca, their neighbors get as well. So I still think we'll have more information. And we will be able to make some changes here, but I'm hoping it's not as huge as we need to, that we don't have to plan for the over the road.
Okay.
We might
Yeah.
want to down the road because you never know what's gonna happen. Everything's got a finite life.
Yeah, they can, if they did another cell, how long does that give us?
Exactly. They're just starting the last one right now. They just put the tub in for the last one a few months ago. But,
Okay, so not to get into.
you know,
the-
not to get into a giant
Um,
garbage discussion, but
drifted.
Terry, did you want to mention the meeting has changed for PPW?
Oh, yeah, it's changed to a week from tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. We couldn't get everybody
11,
together.
I thought it was 11, so.
What day are we doing that? Next week, right? Next Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Friday.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, the notice went out finally this morning, but
I didn't notice the
They
time. I
did-
saw
I
the
noticed the
date.
time either. I just changed
it
the
hiccuped
date.
yesterday and didn't get it out, so.
Okay, and then the next thing on our agenda here was the schedule for the budget calendar. I don't know if Jess or Jared wants to chat about that. What's the budget option?
schedule is the schedule, the format, and the setup is pretty much the same, pretty much identical to what it was last year. Actually the same order, the same everything, except for a few people who had to change. They'll be recorded on Zoom, so people can go back and watch them. You know, if public wants to show up, they can, but there's no public input. Board members are always welcome. You know, to kind of watch and see, as Jess and I were talking, once the agenda is put together to the tentative agenda, the budget, then that will be laid out to everybody, and that's when everybody gets to input before we declare our preliminary, and then we start making input and going at things. But now is the time for advocacy. This is the time where advocacy and justification for requests, for wants, for needs, for all those other things. And that's all I've got with that. We're hoping that Encode is friendly and working and behaving on the server. We're hoping that we don't have any
We've been
days.
trying, haven't we, Jess?
We're hoping that we don't have any days. Have you been able to put anything in yet?
I started yesterday.
But you were able to get stuff in though. Cause
Yeah,
last
but
time we talked, you couldn't get
I
anything.
couldn't, so
Right.
just figured it
There's
out.
like 14 places where you have to give people,
Come on.
access. No, I'm serious. It's very complicated. And so there was one place I'd never even seen before where,
Yeah.
there were some
Okay.
account lines that weren't, a box wasn't checked. And so Jim couldn't get it. I'm
Yeah.
like, other
So-
people are putting theirs and I don't
Yeah, so just,
understand.
the main thing is, you know, patience through it as we're going through the process. And if you have any questions, ask them. If you have any comments, share them, you know.
I'm gonna put some stuff in and we'll make sure you can see what I've done.
Cause you don't want to spend 2 days entering information.
Yeah,
that
no,
you
I'm
can't-
not.
Yeah.
I'm not
That would really chap your britches.
So, Yeah.
Can we share this calendar with our incoming town manager? Not that they would be able to attend because they're at a job, but
Right.
if they have an opening somewhere that. they
Yeah,
could
I mean,
maybe
and they'll all
check
be
it out.
recorded, so I've already had discussions about going back and watching them.
Okay.
The problem is, it's budget season
Yeah,
for everybody
them,
right now.
Yeah. Mhm.
And part of the reason why we are delaying things is because it's budget season.
Yeah.
And not leave other people in a lurch.
Yeah.
That was the request and why the date's the date.
Mhm.
But I'll make sure that they have all that information.
All right, cool. Anything else any questions on the budget calendar? All right, then, can I get a motion to close the meeting, adjourn the
Oh,
meeting?
So
Oh,
moved.
wait, you got,
Couple
wait, you got something else you wanna
the
say?
the finance related resolutions, I haven't
Yes.
typed them up yet, just a couple, there was a town supervisor budget transfer, it'll be on the agenda. It was the town board contractual lines low because trainings have been a little more expensive, but you guys should actually have more money for that than was budgeted. Anyway, and then there's gonna be, there was a resolution last month for salary increase for senior clerk, highway water. Where that money is coming from, I'm changing. It's actually gonna come from the clerk lines that were not occupied. So
Okay.
we're gonna take the funds from there rather than taking it from
Fund.
somewhere else totally
Yeah.
different. So that's all.
Are you intending to bring in another person over there with Courtney, or
We have one now.
you do? Oh,
She
okay.
started today,
Oh, perfect.
so.
All right, is that gonna impact that then if we're
No,
taking-
because that
Because there was
position
several
was
months
vacant,
where it
yeah.
wasn't filled.
And
Okay.
it's just, yeah, it's a couple thousand from each line, so it's not. a huge
Alright.
impact.
Cool.
I'll have to come over and say hi.
Couple other items. Is there gonna be a resolution on the agenda for town highway supervisor increase?
Yeah, we have the public hearing and we have that, yeah, that'll roll over because that's what we talked about doing. So we will have that resolution. It's not in the folder yet. I'm assuming the resolution will be identical to the other one. I didn't write up the other one, but I assume it will be the
Well,
same. as-
Public
It'll-
hearing for it, so it should
There's a
be.
public hearing, so it'll be the same as what we had advertised and shown in the public hearing.
We're gonna act on it then after the public hearing?
That I can't speak for the board, but that depends on the board, that we should act on it.
That's the intention,
That's the intention, yeah.
that we act on that the
So that'd be
22nd.
on the 20.
Okay, good. What about any advertisement to the business community to get feedback from them or attendance from them at the meeting on the 22nd when we talk about the bid?
We already have a letter planned up and drawn up. Sue's making a QR code for it right now, and I will be knocking doors next week. The letter's already done.
Yeah, I'll knock on doors too.
Yeah, inviting them to the bid and telling them about the bid.
So we're
telling
gonna
them
send
what
that
it
out
is.
to the local businesses in the bid?
We're gonna deliver it because mailing it won't do anything. It has a survey, 5-question yes or no survey.
Great.
Do you know what the bid is? My plan is putting that in the report on Friday.
If you need an extra hand. I can
It's,
also
do you know
help
what the
with
bid is? Do you know what the bid goals are? Do you support the bid goals? Basically, do you think the bid should continue? Basically, do you see benefit in this organization?
Right.
And yet, if you do, would you be interested in participating? It's like they can scan it with their phone. It's yes, no, boom, 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 boom.
Good.
Then they can submit the survey. So that's the plan.
I think you're getting a lot of people that don't know what it is.
I'm
but,
sure we
I
will.
mean,
So that's the plan, beginning of
fine.
next week, go out and distribute it to as many as we can. It'll be, I asked to have it back by that Friday, which is a quick turnaround, but it's 5 questions. So anybody should be able to turn it around in 2 minutes. There are links to the website with all the bid information on it. There are links, so that's got that information on the website, what the uptown bid is, what the goals for the bid are. So that's the
then
plan to
we'll-
get feedback. And then we'll have that information on Monday
To talk about,
to talk about it and see
perfect.
whatever we have. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I mean, it's a tight turnaround, but I'm hoping that we have all that.
So will we have hand over bring that? You, me, Dave, do
Yeah,
you
my
wanna
plan-
do that as well?
What's that?
We're delivering it to the businesses?
I mean, my plan is just to knock as many doors as I can and just talk about what it is and
Could
just
we
say.
get a list of businesses and
Yep.
divide
We
and
have it already,
conquer?
it's in the.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the-
but I mean,
but
to
so-
divide,
but the
I forget,
problem
but I didn't
is-
see any names there.
Some are far
The
off.
the problem is, the majority of those bid addresses go to the property owners.
Owner.
Right.
And the property owners aren't local,
Right,
you know, they're
so
wherever.
I'm saying, do we have do we have lists
So
of
we have that
businesses
list,
and then contacts that, or a
but
contact list?
not for the actual people on the ground, because I think we need. We're not gonna get much buy-in, we might, from out of town property owners, absentee owners who live in Buffalo. Nothing against
But they must have a
Buffalo.
manager or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's just.
That's what
my
we did
plan.
last time.
Right.
We would go into like Vision Hyundai and be
Yeah,
like, hey,
and
can you
just-
make sure that this
Just
gets
leave
the
it and drop
manager
it off
owner?
and explain, so that's the plan.
So it's
Good,
really the
I-
business owner that, even if someone else owns the property, the guy that's owning
Yeah.
the business.
Yeah.
Ultimately is gonna pay.
They're gonna be the ones.
And
they're
do
gonna
they
go-
really-
Yeah,
Exactly.
Want to participate.
That's why I'm
That's-
hoping to get,
Yeah, they probably never even see the tax bill,
no,
right?
They-
So
they're
they're
just
just,
rolled into
the
the
property
Charge
owner's just
more.
going and passing that
Yeah.
tax on to the
Oh, sure.
business.
And my other plan and hope with this too is with discussion, so like, for example, going to Charlie May, talking to him. Charlie's probably, I've already talked to Charlie about it, he's probably not gonna be interested because he's so busy and he's got so much going on. But
You gotta ask Charlie
he would
in
have,
October.
but he would have the input and say, hey, who else do you think we could have?
Or is
So-
Charlie interested in the bid? I
Right.
mean, that's the question for
Exactly.
Charlie,
So-
even if you can't participate.
Yeah, I'll share the survey out Friday. We're just printing up the letters, reprinting the letters right now with a QR code on it.
So we have a very narrow time frame,
Yeah.
and I am just a little bit concerned that we might not be able to assemble all the data in time for our board meeting. So,
Yeah,
and I just hate, again, I don't know, I think we can only lay it over one time and we have to vote
Yeah.
on it. So,
That's the law.
yeah.
yeah, I'm
we'll
just concerned
have-
about it.
No, I get it. We'll have, if everything's coming back by Friday, they get it by Monday or so.
Hmm.
The data is really gonna be those yes or no questions. That's why I made it
Simple.
simple, so it's
Mhm.
yes, no.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think
So
you've
we
done a good
can-
job with that.
So then we'll compile it, I'll spend the weekend putting the numbers together, and then we'll have, we might not get it until the weekend or Monday morning, but at least we'll have it, and then we can go through it. That's my.
Good.
That's my thought on
And
it.
in answer to your question, Adeline, with my situation, it's just so difficult for me to get in and out of the car all the time that,
Yeah, it's not.
and you know,
Gotta have a better sidewalk for you.
yeah, well, and so, you know, when you drive to each location, it's another in and out. It's just
That's what
very
I'm
difficult.
saying. We'll get
for
you on
me.
the sidewalk the whole way.
How many businesses are there actually along 332 there? I mean, the car dealers are the big ones.
There were over 100 on that list, weren't
There
there?
are,
But there's a lot that are,
Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if
so
you hit the big,
that's my plan. It's
yeah,
not-
just start with Randy
My-
Farnsworth and,
and
but
then
you know,
we're
technically,
down.
Randy doesn't own that anymore.
no, but
But
I
he's
think
a
he,
big.
well, he
he's
owns
big
the,
and he-
he
yeah,
owns the
start-
collision.
collision,
the
all that
collision.
stuff.
Start with Randy and
Alright.
end
He's
with
a huge
Randy, right?
property
Yeah,
owner.
yeah, yeah.
well, you'll be there a while.
No, I'm ending with Randy, but my plan is, should be able to bang it out in a day.
But
You
you
get
go
what
to
you
Tractor
get.
Supply or someplace like that, how do you figure out who's gonna do what there? You know what I
Just
mean?
give it to them and
Yep,
just
that's
and
what we did.
explain
That's
and
what we did
ask.
last
So,
time.
Yeah.
And then you get that little strip plaza there that's got
yeah,
a
so we, so,
6 or 8 businesses in it. And
Yeah.
then you got the other one up further that's got 10 or 12. and-
yeah. so
John,
you'll
you
get-
could do that plaza. See, that's
Right.
definitely
So
a
you'll
one
get the
time.
letter, I'll get you the letter, so everybody can just review it, and just know what's going out in the letter. I did put in there that the plan is and because I only think it's fair, and that's the consensus that I felt, and what I feel strongly about is the no tax rate for the bid for next year, because we don't want to tax them. And if it comes back that we're gonna dissolve it or whatever, then have to make that decision. So my plan is just freeze it for next year. And then we'll roll it forward going from that. Because again, the tax was for the lights and some equipment. We have the equipment, we're paying for the lights somewhere else, so then. we can get
And
it up
flowers and
running.
banners and things like
Right.
that. So.
But we've got 100 grand, so we can start with flowers. and
Didn't we
banners and
say we would do something out of that for like the banner pole? Weren't we taking something out
For
of it
the
for
light
that?
poles.
Well, the banner poles are part of the actual light
Yeah.
poles and signs that are coming.
I thought we had said we were gonna take a little bit out of it for that. part
But we
of it.
have the ability to put banners on the poles.
Yes, you
right? But, and that would come out of it,
Yes.
not out of the town or whatever, right?
Anyway, all right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. Our next finance meeting is 8/8/24. There might be an adjustment in the time of the finance meetings. I don't anticipate adjusting the day, but we do have a community member who would be interested in being on the finance committee meeting if we change the time.